Hello, welcome back, amazing hacker. Hope you're doing well today. So, a lot of you guys are failing, but you don't know why, and I think we need to talk about this. Let's get right into it. My first thing, the first tip that I have for you guys is that you need to set goals for yourself. You need to set realistic goals, and then you need to divide that up into parts. How am I gonna get to where I want to be? Where am I now? Where do I want to be, and what steps do I need to take to get there? Because a lot of failures come from a feeling of inadequacy, of not being good enough. But I'm telling you, that's not really a failure. It's just you not knowing where you are right now, where you want to go, and how you want to get there. Everything needs to be smart, specific, measurable. I don't know what the other thing stands for anymore. Look it up. But you really have to take into account that the steps that you take is dividable into small pieces. Like, let's say that I have a very big pen test coming up. I need to be able to give these people an estimate. Well, to do that, I need to divide my work into several different topics. I need to know how long I take during those topics. Like, for example, if I'm talking about a specific tool that I need to run, I need to know how long it's going to take me to set up that tool, to run that tool, to analyze the results. So that's something very important. Make sure that you have that written down as well. And then make a game plan, because you know how much hours you can spend on your goal. I don't have a game plan for you. You know that if you have a couple of hours a day, maybe 4 hours a day, you might want 2 hours of relaxation and 2 hours of study time. Well, if you know how many little pieces, how many little tasks and chapters you can fit into those 2 hours, you can divide it a little bit. Maybe you can do one bigger chunk today that you have to divide up into 2 pieces. Well, then divide it up further, because that means you're not there yet. You have to keep dividing up your tasks until you think, now I'm ready, because I do believe that you have this in you. Let's be realistic here. You have to be realistic towards yourself as well. Is this something you're capable of? And I honestly don't see why not. If you guys have made it this far, if you're starting to get into hacking and you've spent maybe, let's say, 1,000 hours on it and you're still not a pen tester, well, then maybe your goal wasn't properly set up. You want to be a pen tester, but how do you become a pen tester? What are you gonna do to become a pen tester, and what certificates are you gonna grab? That's also important to know. All of these things might take years to get what you want. It might take years. Let's be realistic as well. Again, because of course you can't expect to want something today and to get it tomorrow, at least not if it's worthwhile. You're gonna have to work for it, and you're gonna have to work for it a lot. That's something that I think we all have realized by now as well. We are at a field that requires us to keep learning forever. But steps to keep learning is something that's different for everybody else. And I think that a lot of you guys also have the same problem, that you're trying to learn knowledge, that you're trying to look at things on YouTube, for example, but you're not applying it like you would in a classroom. If you think back to your school time in a classroom, you had to do your classwork, you get home, you study a little bit, you do your homework. Do you honestly do that when you're doing this stuff, when you're trying to reach your goal? Is that really what you're trying to do? Because I know that a lot of you guys are just looking at videos like this and trying to grab some information, but in a week from now, you won't remember anything I've said unless you write it down and unless you actually start making actionable points out of this. So what I want you to do right now is, first of all, I want you to describe where you are, as realistic as possible and as detailed as possible. Then I want you to describe where you want to go. Again, be realistic, be detailed. If it's a major goal, then set yourself a major time frame as well. Don't think that in a year's time you're gonna know everything that there is to know, because we all know that, at least in our field, it's gonna take forever. Another point that I have is not specializing enough, because There's so many rabbit holes out there, and as somebody with ADHD, it's really difficult for me to actually look at a rabbit hole and not dive into it. I jump from point to point to point, and it's really hard for me to focus. That's why I've always gotten a little paper with things that I have to do, that I must do on that day, and then I go through those things. I can always refer back to my list, because I know from myself that at some point I'm gonna get subverted again. I'm gonna go looking for other things, but I can snap out of it because I know that I have my plan set out. Then I'm also writing down things that I want to do, that I need to do, but maybe not today. And I write them down, because if I have some time left, then that's what I'm gonna dive into. And it all comes back again to my plan. I have a plan set out, and it's a multiple year plan. I know where I want to be in 10 years. I can describe it to you to a T. And I don't think a lot of people have that same thing. I don't think a lot of people can if you had to look me in the eye right now and you had to say, this is where I am right now, this is where I want to be in a year, and this is where I want to be in 10 years. I'm gonna get a lot of vague answers, like I want to be a pen tester. That's fine. Do you want to be a junior pen tester? Okay, how are you gonna get there? What certificates do you need to be a pen tester? I want to be a pen tester. I'm gonna probably need an OSCP certificate or a PMTP certificate or whatever else. And to do that, I'm gonna have to study for a few more years. I'm gonna have to look up what it takes to be a pen tester. I'm gonna have to dive into those subjects, because no company will ever hire me. So I'm gonna first of all look up, what do I need to know? What do I need to do to be a pen tester? I'm just gonna go to Google. I'm gonna look up what a complete pen test entails. Not the things that you usually see, you know, those pen tests that you sometimes see, attack, 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 attack. That's the reason I don't like OSCP as much anymore, by the way. I love it, don't get me wrong, but they teach you how to attack and a little bit of the things around it. But if a pen tester who has OSCP comes to my company for a job, I'm gonna grill them, because I want them to learn at least a little bit more than those 4 web exploits that they have in their course right now. And I get that AD is important, but is it really that important that you can't pass if you don't get your AD? I mean, it's all about knowledge, I get that, but some things they teach in that course are things that you can't directly apply to your exam either, and that's a shame. So it's a little bit of a mixture of both worlds. Exams are one thing, certifications are one thing, but knowledge is not much more important. And also social skills, sociability. Get somebody that you can hack with. Look on Twitter, look on Facebook, look on YouTube, go into the comment section, ask people if they want contact with you. I'm working on a concept, not gonna spoil too much, but I think you guys will love it. Super important that you always look for somebody that you can connect with. Somebody at about your level, maybe a little bit above that, but don't go looking for people who are much farther in their journey than you are, because then you're gonna get a mismatch. You're gonna get frustrated because you don't know what the hell they're talking about. They're gonna get frustrated because you're lagging behind, and it's not a great combination in my opinion. I hope those tips helped you guys a little bit. Thanks so much for tuning in from the back of my garden. I really appreciate every single one of you. You guys are amazing. We're almost at 20,000 subscribers. You can probably hear my kid in the background, so I'm gonna go. Bye, amazing hackers. Much love. Uncle Red out. Woo!